Good morning, Vikings fans. Welcome to the Yellowhorn. I'm your host, Chris, and today we're going to look at the three keys to a Vikings victory on Monday night. First off, moving the game to Arizona definitely helps the Vikings fans as it takes away a little bit of that home field advantage that the Rams had. The point spread did move. Now I think the Vikings are favored by 2.5 or two. So that's really like five. Uh, it's two, the home team. So it's probably like 5 points or so. Um, that being said, um, the three keys to victory are one, they need to score touchdowns. I mean, that's just plain and simple. Getting kicking field goals or getting out in the red zone and coming away empty as they did against the Lions is not going to get it done against the Rams. They need to score points, and they're probably going to need to score a lot of them. Um, you know, I think I don't know if it'll happen or not, but with Daniel Jones being active, I know part of that was to make sure they got the comp pick next year. But also, I wouldn't be shocked if Kevin O'Connell mixes in some goal line runs for him. It'll be interesting to see because it's something new, and I do think that the Vikings need to try something new within the red zone because they struggled last week. I didn't like all the play calling last week. I thought they should have definitely had tried to run the ball more. I know their offensive line struggles. I know the interior offensive line especially struggles to get a good push. But I feel they become one-dimensional down in the red zone, and they need to find a way to get away from that. I mean, you could run it, try mixing in some sweeps, some jet sweeps. Hand the ball to Addison, hand it off to Jefferson more. Try Naylor, um, just basically anything other than what we saw last week. Another key is going to be establishing the run game. I think Kevin O'Connell abandons it way too quickly. And against this Rams team, you hear it, you know, in every game you hear it, keep the other the other team off the field. But it's true with the Vikings. You know, Sam Darnold likes to pick up the pace. You'll see them go no huddle, or quickly up to the line. Um, kind of the muddle huddle look where, they kind of regroup but don't, and then just hustle up to the line and call a play. That works great, but if you're not completing those or, converting third downs, you're giving the Rams more chances, and the Vikings cannot do that. They have to find a way to establish the run game and take away two or three possessions from the Rams. Um, I don't think the Vikings can win a shootout with the Rams. I think the Rams have too much firepower, and the Vikings defense is too sus. Um, so Kevin O'Connell needs to come up with a game plan to find a way to keep the offense on the field. And for me, that's running or screen passes. Just something, one, to get the ball out of Sam Darnold's hands a little bit more. I do think he's going to be a little bit shaky from last week. I don't care how many times, how many years he's been in the league. He's never played in a game of this magnitude. And as we saw last week, he can get rattled. So I'd like to see the Vikings try to establish the run game somewhat. Even if it's not working, you have to get the Rams to respect it. And the best way to do that is to just keep pounding the rock. Obviously, last week it got away from them in the second half, and you know they weren't able to stick with the run as much as they should. But this is Kevin O'Connell's thing. He doesn't like to stick with the run. He doesn't even try to establish plays that would be considered an extension of the run game. Quick screens. I think there was like maybe two or three last week. Just he's got to do something to get the ball out of Sam Darnold's hands quicker. There's too many long developing plays. Too many times the guys are going 15 yards downfield, and Sam's holding it. Sitting in the pocket, holding the ball too long. Um, and part of that's on Sam. I mean, last week you could look. We had Addison in the flat a couple times. There's been quite a few times that you'll see Aaron Jones or Cam Akers sneak out and Darnold doesn't even look their way. But, so Kevin O'Connell's got to come up with a better game plan to establish something similar to the run or the run. And then the third key to victory is finding a way to get pressure on Matthew Stafford. Um, I honestly don't know how they do it this late in the season. I don't think they have the personnel to do it. He absolutely shredded them last time. Um, Maybe it's more Dallas Turner up front in three or four looks and dropping guys in coverage. I just know if Matthew Stafford has time in the pocket, regardless if it's a blitz, regardless if it's man, regardless if they're in a zone, he's going to shred this defense. We saw it last time with Puka, who was supposed to play, not supposed to play, not fully healthy. He looked pretty healthy. Um, the Rams are. a good team right now and dangerous. Honestly, between them and the Lions, those are the two teams I didn't want to see in a playoff matchup. I think those two offenses and their quarterbacks just have the Vikings number. Um, you know, I don't know what else Flores can do besides giving a lot of zero looks and dropping back. But he's got to find a way to get pressure on Stafford. If he does not get pressure on Stafford, it's going to be a long day for the Vikings. Um, I think I would start with pressure looks out of the gate and just see where that gets you. I would, try to send blitzes and try to get him rattled quick and get him off his marks. He's not this huge scrambler, but he will move and he can move the pocket well. And obviously, he has the arm strength. I don't have a prediction yet for this game. I've hemmed and hawed both ways. Part of me wants to take off my purple glasses, and be like, okay, the Rams are probably going to beat them. This is going to be the end of a fun season. Part of me is like, well, the Vikings have shocked us, all season long. Nobody had picked them to this, to win, 14 games. I had them at like 9, maybe 10 wins max. So to be where they are is great. I don't want to settle for just that. Um, but if I'm being honest, this game does scare me. So I'm going to wait for my prediction probably until Sunday, especially with the game moving to Arizona. I think that helps. But, let's have a great weekend. I'll see everybody Sunday. Skull.